Okay, with that done, why don't we move on to asking questions? So Lynn, why don't you take this first? You sort of mentioned this already, your qualifications to lead the NCCFT as a secretary. Is there something you want to add to that?
No, like you said, as I mentioned in my opening statement, I have been involved in almost all aspects of the campus, from part-time to full-time employment, non-classroom to classrooms, academic, and the many academic senate committees, and also my involvement with all the NCCFT committees. So, you know, I'm not new to this campus and campus leaders and to how the campus and the campus leaders collaborate. I have contributed to the workings of the college in many areas, and I understand the importance of labor relations and the contract, and I will work for and with the faculty. So yes, I do believe I'm qualified to lead.
Okay, thanks. Val,
Thank
you're
you.
next. I know you mentioned some of your qualifications, but could you specifically touch on qualifications to lead the NCCFT?
Well, because of my proven success with Achilles, I was invited to co-chair Standard 7 during some of the phases of the Middle States evaluation. I have continuously demonstrated my leadership skills by way of serving on all the committees I mentioned, NCCFT committees plus the PAC committee. I chair the retirement committee. I was elected as New York State Teachers Delegate and represented the college at the annual meeting and conference in Saratoga Springs. I have been elected and have been serving as a full member on the Faculty Student Association Board of Directors since 2008. Since the day I was hired, I have served as a faculty advisor to several clubs and organizations, one of which is NYPIRG. And together we escorted students to Albany for Lobby Day. I was elected by my constituents to serve on the Presidential Search Committee, where I had the opportunity to work with Nassau County leaders. And that's why I feel comfortable to go knock on their doors to ask whatever the college needs. They know me, I'm welcomed. I had the same opportunity when the Achilles and Aspires programs were eliminated. Fran and I were receiving tons of email and phone calls from elected officials to make sure the college was doing the right thing by its students. As noted earlier, and already I'm extremely qualified due to my experiences as well as my academic preparation to lead the NCCFT to a bright and promising future.
Thank you. Joylette, you are our last one for the first question. What are your specific qualifications to lead the NCCFT? Oops, unmute yourself, please.
First and foremost, I pride myself on being a researcher and a writer. And so I specifically am interested in this position because of the written and verbal communication skills that the position requires. And the communication extends not only into written, but also strategies and analysis of not only the appropriateness of the communication, but also its mood, its tone, and its effect that whatever messages or communication that the executive committee extends to the campus is communicated effectively and efficiently. And again, that's my area, that's my specialization, and I pride myself on not only being able to articulate, but also to think quickly, to analyze. And again, I think that I'm a natural writer. I love writing, and obviously this position requires a great amount of documentation and research in its effectiveness to communicate with the faculty of the campus. I have been and I am currently an alternate representative for the department in which I serve. And quite honestly, I believe that all the requirements of the position can be learned in addition to those. I serve in, also, as I've mentioned, am a professor in the Women's and Gender Studies department program. Hopefully, eventually one day it will become a department, as well as in the Human Rights Studies program. And so I, again, pride myself on being able to look at thoughts and ideas and issues in an interdisciplinary fashion, instead of just having, looking at problem solving through one lens. That said, I'm very anxious and excited about the possibility of becoming a member of the negotiating unit. I think about how to, again, I'm a strategist. I think about how to negotiate in 3 stages. One is to listen very carefully to what the administration is proposing, so that we can then look at and think about and strategize what they prioritize, so that we can, in so many words, beat them at their own game and come up with strategies of our own based on research, background, input from faculty. And then if we present as much evidence as possible and we're still receiving pushback, it is then at that point time to take a more aggressive approach, and to fight for the benefits and the well-being of our membership.
Okay, thank you. Next, we'll move on to our second question, and this will start with Valerie. Since the world is rapidly changing and evolving, can you tell us about your recent involvement and experience, specifically about accomplishments or training that have to do, specifically speak about accomplishments and training.
For close to 2 decades, I have been advocating for students' rights. Achilles was threatened to be cut every year since 2010, but I managed to survive. Just this year that the programs were eliminated, Fran and I kept hearing Margaret Mead's words, "Never doubt that a small group of thoughtful, committed citizens can change the world." Indeed, it is the only thing that ever has. We proved to ourselves, to the community at large, and to the college that faculty can move mountains. In fact, this is a huge victory that faculty can be proud of, the likes of which we have not seen in a long time. We were 2 NCCFT members totally left to their own devices with no help from the union whatsoever, not even the courtesy of returning our phone calls. And let's not be quick and blame these 2 on Frank. We spoke to the ones currently running. Over 120 faculty members have been trained by the Achilles Faculty Training Seminar in Differentiated Instruction. The annual Unlocking Potential Conference has also trained hundreds of NCCFT people, as well as from K through 12 and neighboring colleges and universities. Achilles is all about the 2 R's, results and retention, and that is what precisely I'm bringing to the table.
Okay. Lynn, could you answer the same question? Since the world is rapidly changing and evolving, can you tell us about your recent union involvement and experience, and speak
Yes.
specifically to accomplishments?
Okay, so my most recent involvements and experience are with the Academic Senate Executive Committee, because currently we do work with the NCCFT, the AFA, and the administration. Recently, to speak of, I have been involved in conversations regarding the college going remote back in March. We also discussed the dual enrollment initiatives, and I am currently involved with the NCC Guided Pathways Home Team. So it's ongoing. I am constantly working with everybody right now with everything that's evolving. It's a daily task. Okay.
Okay, great. Joyolette, it's your turn to talk about the world that's rapidly changing and evolving. Can you tell us about your recent union involvement and experience, and specifically accomplishments?
Well, I have been on fire since May 25th. I pinpoint a very specific date that the world kind of caught fire, and I mean that as a rather distasteful pun, in fact. But, you know, I have received training throughout my academic life since graduate school. My doctoral dissertation was on women's human rights in the global South. And so I've been very keen and passionate about, again, disenfranchised groups and how they have, and what would bring voice to those disenfranchised groups, including those on our campus who feel, again, that they have not been represented by the various governing entities of our campus. I've also had diversity training with the Human Rights Institute. I've taken several classes with them on, again, developing strategies for how to think about solutions outside the box when negotiating, but also in just paying attention to and being very, very keen and alert to the various needs of diverse people. And again, there are some very specific programs on our campus that need more attention than others because of, and we talk about budget a lot, but there are budgetary constraints. There will always be budgetary constraints. That's no excuse. I would like for us as a faculty to be able to all feel represented and to all have an equal place at the table. And that includes really paying attention to the background and the reasons why the budgets across campus are so disproportionately allotted to various departments over others.
Okay, thank you. Now moving on to the next question. The NCC bookstore, the rollout of the NCC All Access program, AKA Books on the First Day of School, and the number of students who have yet to receive them and the practice of the bookstore charging one price for the books and materials one day and doubling the price a day later. What do you suggest can be done about this current bookstore situation? Oh, I'm sorry. So the first person this time is Joy. Yeah, Joette.
How much time do I have? Like, I mean, can I speak
3
very
minutes.
honestly and passionately about this issue that the bookstore is causing for our students and for us? It is highly inconvenient. They're frustrated. My solution, long story short, would be to eliminate the program. It did not work. It was a great idea on paper. In theory, it seemed like it would be effective if the rollout had been efficient. It wasn't. And the students are frustrated. Some of them already suffer from anxiety. This situation with the bookstore has heightened that. From what I understand, there are proposals on the table to improve the system going forward into the January term, whereas students can opt into the program as opposed to opting out of it. I would for certain give the students more of an option and a choice in whether or not they're able to use the ready on day one system for some classes and not others. We each throughout our various disciplines have different needs for course requirements, and the bookstore should be more I would propose that the bookstore be more attentive to that. And also the cost of price is just long story short, something that did not work for the students. It did, again, on paper, it sounded like it would be a good idea. It did not work out that way. And short of eliminating the entire program, I would make significant adjustments, again, including having the students be able to opt in and not out. I do believe that in our current coronavirus pandemic world, that it is a good idea to have students make appointments to pick up the books. But another final solution that I would have is to have the students in small groups make appointments to then go pick up their own books and to bring them back home, as opposed to having the students make a trip, sometimes 30 or 45 minutes away from campus for each book that they're required to have for their classes.
Great. Val, can you respond to the same question, please?
The bookstore situation is really about lack of faculty voice and consultation. The Academic Senate, unlike in the past, was not consulted. It also demonstrates a lack of collaboration and clear communication between faculty, students, and the bookstore. I suggest opting in instead of opting out. The bookstore should not dictate the modality of the textbook. Not having the Campus Services Committee has removed the voice of the faculty. Why haven't we heard the union voice its dissatisfaction? If they have, it is always in secret. We need transparency and accountability. It is the union's role to give voice to the faculty and support the Senate to have a voice. Not only are we voiceless, but also disrespected. Removing all NCC email communication caused tremendous miscommunication. One hand does not know what the other is doing.
Okay, and Lynn, you want to respond to the bookstore debacle?
Okay, so yeah, it's a shame that this NCC Access program did not work out as planned, that it was not presented to the Academic Senate before the rollout took place. I strongly believe that if the program was discussed with the faculty, there would have been excellent input, and it could have possibly been a success, but that did not happen. Also, to roll it out during a pandemic was not wise at all. What upset me the most was I feel like the students were treated as guinea pigs. And the burden was placed on them, and that truly upset me. I would have preferred, I don't know why they didn't do this, but some sort of test mode, possibly ask 75 to 100 students to volunteer to take part in this, and then see how it works with that little cohort. What needs to be tweaked, what worked, what didn't work, blah, 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 blah. So there were a lot of options, and I really wish they would have reached out to the Academic Senate to speak to us. Too many issues, along with the doubling of cost of books from one day to another. OER students were charged when they shouldn't have been. Students on internships where there's no book involved were charged. So the list goes on. So I'm hoping that after this semester, the program ends. I really am. But if used in the future, I agree with both candidates as well, that there should be an opt-in program, not the other way around. And it should not be a profit opportunity for anybody. Textbooks prices should also be announced ahead of the semester and stay unchanged. You shouldn't be flip-flopping.
Okay, thank you. The next question. Oh wait, did you all respond? Yeah, okay. The next question. How do we restore the Academic Senate's participation in major policy decisions? And this time, Lynn, you go first.
Okay, we do. I was a little concerned about this question because we are involved in major policy decisions. You know, I understand we lost the Campus Services Committee and the Community Services Committee, but we did have a strong voice in the pass-fail option. If you were at those Senate meetings, we were there speaking up for it. And the dual enrollment option that was considered last spring. So the Academic Senate leadership meets on a regular basis with administration to discuss major issues. So to ask how to restore this, I would respond that the Academic Senate did not lose its voice, but we do need to speak a little louder. Okay, thank you.
Okay, great. Next, Val, same question.
Yes, the union and the Senate have distinct roles. It is our role to ensure that the faculty have a voice in academic policies, and that role is described in Section 20 of our collective bargaining agreement. The role of the union is to ensure the Senate can perform its duties. Therefore, the union needs to help the Senate to move forward with its duties by enforcing the contract. We need to be partners with the administration and have our voices heard to regain respect. So that's
okay.
my thought, yeah.
All right, thanks. Next, Joylette.
As my colleagues Lynn and Valerie have eloquently expressed, I believe also that while the union and the Senate have different focal points, that ultimately communication is the key, and that if the unions on campus and the various governing bodies and entities work together, that the respect that my lovely colleague Valerie has referred to will be restored organically. Ultimately, as always, communication for me is the key. The Senate should remember and think about and kind of reinvigorate themselves with the rights that they already have, to remember what they are, to restore that voice, ultimately, quite honestly, is going to take increasing the morale of the faculty and increasing the general membership's belief in the rights and the voice and the aim that the Senate has. And I think that moving forward, if we move with the Senate in support of what their actions are and in what has been considered not necessarily a loss of voice per se, but a loss of vision on behalf of the administration, that the Senate will organically gain that voice back that was so present during the Finelli years and moving forward.
Okay, last question, and Val, you should start. What do you think the Secretary of the NCCFT can do more, better, or differently to improve our working conditions?
So I'm all about empowerment. Giving a voice to our NCCFT membership is what I can and will do best. I will strive to put forward the new ways of doing things. I will be transparent, trustworthy, and continue to communicate with you your new ideas openly, 365 days a year, not different from what I do in the Achilles Project for the past 15 years. I will get our faculty community support from the community and local political leaders, not different than what I did with Achilles. I invite you to go on our website for original thoughts, in-depth explanations, and poignant commentaries. My slate and I do not cut and paste, we are original.
Okay, thank you. Next, Joylette.
Well, my generic answer is that I would, again, listen to the faculty and decide based on, and formulate a strategy based on what various faculty in the various departments on campus believe are the most pressing and urgent issues that would improve our working conditions and our overall professional lives here on the campus. But so that's part one, that's my vague answer. My more specific answer, I'm deeply concerned about class size. I am deeply concerned about issues of the, not only the morale of the faculty, but the morale of the students and how they envision the college, especially now more than ever, as we're in this Zoom university culture. We as faculty represent the campus to them. They're not going from building to building. Their clubs are on Zoom. All right, shameless plug. I'm advisor to the Women's Students Association. So we're having to kind of cull faculty and cull students into having a morale that, especially for our entering freshmen, decreased as our summer went from March to April to May, and their morale and their excitement became decreased. So I would think that, you know, things, some of the aspects that I would really like to work on have to do with class size, have to do with maintaining the benefits that we already have. That includes health benefits, but it also includes our teaching load, our responsibilities. There are huge questions involved with some of the rather kind of hidden aspects that the current administration is starting to look at and analyze. What happens with our committee time? Can it be docked? Can it be documented? What to do with that extra time? And long story short, trying to get as much work out of us for as little as possible. I have a huge problem with that because we're professionals, we're academics, we're intellectuals, and our intellectualism deserves to be valued way more than it is.
Okay, so now you ladies have a 2-minute closing statement.
Wait, I didn't answer.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's okay, Laura. That's all right.
I'm rushing to the next.
I won't take 2 minutes.
About that.
Okay. No, I just want to say that the secretary of the NCCFT needs to be more involved with campus community. I'd like to see this position as more of a liaison between the executive board and the faculty. the secretary can listen to the faculty and their needs for improved working conditions. I would like to see the secretary to oversee something, survey with the faculty, asking for input or what they would like improved, because the secretary, as well as all the leaders, must listen to the faculty needs. I'm sure there were discussions in the past on what desperately needs to be done to improve the safety for everyone on campus. I just don't want it to fall on deaf ears. The campus needs to be updated to meet reasonable standards of health and safety of faculty and students. So there should be no question on why this needs to be done. It has to be done.
Okay, thank you. Sorry
Thank you,
about that
Vandora.
again.
No, that's fine. Thank you.
Okay, so now we have a 2-minute summary statement from our candidates, and why don't we start with Lynn?
Oh, okay. Okay, so at first I want to take a moment to thank the Nccft Elections Committee for holding this forum today. And Vandora, I know you went through a lot to get this all organized, and I thank you very much. Thank you, Valerie.
I did not work alone.
I know. Thank you, Valerie and Joylette, for your commitment to the NCC community and to our students. It's been a pleasure speaking with everyone today. There was so much crucial information shared. I answered your questions sincerely, and if elected NCCFT Secretary, I hope to continue this open dialogue with all members in the future. I'm honest, dedicated to seeing all projects to completion. I'm respectful to everyone and always act as a professional. I assure you that I will fight for you, your benefits, and your working conditions. I will represent the full-time faculty to the best of my abilities and with unwavering commitment. NCC is only as strong as we make it, and together we can make both the college and our union stronger. I want to thank you all again, and I hope everybody has a wonderful evening.
Thanks. Okay, next, Joylette.
Well, again, what I bring to this position, or what I would bring if elected, is passion and also a genuine investment in every member of the faculty to ensure that our rights are maintained, that our working conditions are adequate, and to actually think about some of the aspects of very carefully, the subtext especially of various proposals that the administration is on the verge of making, and also to continue to ensure that our faculty members have a voice on campus, not only have a voice, but also move towards strategies, and to think about what would best benefit not only our students, but also our fellow faculty members. I would be open to, again, listening to the various problems and issues that come before the executive committee. And I believe that it's all about strategy. Increasing the morale of the faculty, I think, is key. And I'm generally a very energetic person that looks forward to being able to serve you on the NCCFT Executive Committee.
Great. And last but not least, Valerie.
Thank you. So in closing, I ask you, do you like the current climate? Are you happy with a contract that gets progressively worse and gets you very little in return? Does going down a slippery slope feel good to you? Are you one of those just happy to have a job? Settling for crumbs will get you just that. I have a proven track record, and I ask you to place your faith in the slate that I'm running with. We're here to help. We will be a union who has concrete strategies and plans to strengthen our contract and get us to be respected and listened to. If elected, the slate and I will move members in the right direction. We will have an open door policy. We will bring the community back. You can trust we will be transparent, we will be accountable, and yes, we will get you results. My mission, as well as our slate's mission, is to save our students from being ripped off by the bookstore fiasco, to save our students by saving programs and by saving departments from being eliminated, and finally, to save our students by increasing and diversifying faculty lines.
Okay, great. Thank you very much. Thank you, everybody, for attending, and thank the other people on the election committee with me, who is Gary Klinger, and I'm afraid to say your last name because I didn't want to mispronounce it. Darlene
Braunschweiger.
Braunschweiger. Okay. All right. So thanks, everybody, and I'll see you at the next debate, which is tomorrow, right? Yeah, it is. See you tomorrow. Bye.
All right, thank you.